Alright, we're playing some Tour 5 here. We've got some new holes coming out for, let's see what that tournament is. Hold on. Let's see what the name of this tournament is. We got TILP. We'll go to tournaments. We'll go to Celtic Cup tournament. So we have brand new holes. These are Dunmore links. And we'll get to practice them in Tour 5, Tour 10, and Tour 12. So now everybody can practice from whatever tees. But they're all brand new, so we're trying to get some of those holes. The Dunmore links. I'm going to set a timer here. And we'll play for 1 hour and see how much we can get in an hour. And I will start the timer as soon as it gets done downloading. Alright, I always like it when we go to new holes, because there's a learning curve on new holes. And so if you can figure out how to play them pretty quick, you may have a jump on a bunch of people. So when you're first playing them, don't be afraid to go out there and go crazy and try out some stuff. And it doesn't matter kind of how you end up, but you got to be thinking about how you'd be playing in a tournament. So don't be afraid to bring out big stuff. Hopefully I can bring out some big stuff, and then if I epic fail, you'll know not to bring out big stuff and try that. And unfortunately I got one of the older holes. This is one of the Nordic Fords, I think. Tour 5. Come on. Guest. He played 1,498 games. At some point you gotta quit being a guest and pick a name. We'll forfeit, so we're not wasting time here. Take your 3 stake offer. I don't think I've ever taken that 3 stake offer. So I was doing some math earlier, and while I'm playing here, I'll try and stay on track for gems. In this game, gems, Dunmore links. Alright, we'll have to pick that back up. Hole 6, par 5. Let's see what we got here. Hole 6. I've seen a couple of these holes, but I haven't seen this one. I don't know where the green is. My opponent must know where the green's at. I really don't like the fact that we're hitting on the first, second, between the second and third bounce between that really narrow spot. I'm not a big fan of that. I'd like for my second bounce to be on the other side of that, so maybe a 3-power ball will get us over there. That's a critical area, because between the second and third bounce it doesn't look like there's enough distance, so that if you were off trajectory, you might get caught up in it. Where the heck's the green? There we go. Elevated green. We should be taking wind off if it's elevated. That's the way it's supposed to work. Let's see what we got with a 3-power ball. I got some Titans. Let's burn some. I'm going to take the wind out. I'm going to take a little more than the wind out, just in case it looks like it's rolling downhill right there and it might carry. Hit it about 2 rings great to the right. I think that's the way to go. I probably missed that shot, and if you have an Apocalypse, that would be a great shot for Apocalypse, because it's got more curl. And it has a little bit less distance, so you have a little less worry, but you're definitely going to have to take the wind off on that drive. And I took what was 3-2, so I took about a 20% pull on it. And I still had pretty good distance out there if I would have got the either hit it perfect or hit it great to the left. Now let's see where we would have kind of ended up. And I'm going to try and just lay it up right where I think we would have ended up in that area so we can see what the second shot looks like. I'm not going to learn anything if I hit it forward and just try and recover. Even if I can recover, I'm still going to hit it right to where I was, because we're not going to learn anything on these when we're practicing out. If we're playing like we would in one-on-one. We'll get to play one-on-one in these holes after the tournament. So I could make it on. I could get on from there. But I really want to know like what's the shot from here. So it's a long iron shot. If I'm in my nirvana. So this is long iron right here. So if I would have picked up good distance, and I think if we're going to hit on that side, we really probably can't bring out anything more than a 3. We'll have to experiment with how deep we can get in that hole or what the limits are, because it's going to be one of those very tricky ones that if you hit it too far down to that hole, it'll carry farther and you'll end up in the rough very easily. From this kind of distance, there's some run in on the hole, so the hole looks like it might be a good hole for a sniper. I think I may have a Guardian in this bag, I'm not sure. Maybe a sniper. No, I got a Guardian. So if I came in here with a sniper, maybe. Sniper's got good. I definitely want to bring a 3 side spin ball for this green. Maybe a couple rings off. 1.6. It's 1.2 per ring, so it's about a ring and a third. I should have put a little more backspin on it. I don't think I have enough backspin on it. Hitting it perfect. We'll at least get a good read, go back and really look at that shot and see what was set up on it. So that curl was about twice as much curl as I needed. And I would not ever count on that right there. That right there might bring you back to the hole if you miss, but I don't think you'll ever be able to pick up enough speed on that unless you came at it with full backspin, as far as like going down that hill. Good game. Oh, come on, dude. Is it such a big deal? I do not understand what the deal is. I mean, we're playing for 20,000 coins here. You're putting 10,000 in. If you've played 14, 16, 18, 2,000, 6,000 games and you can't afford to not even think about dropping 20K, for newer players it's a bigger deal. So on my lower level account, I mean, it's a bigger deal about coins. I make just enough coins in each tournament to get me to the next tournament. I started off with a little stake. What I'd really like here is that bag. And this one. Okay, you can play this. Let's play it with a Quasar. The Quasar will not hurt us on the drive. The Quasar will kill us on the second shot. Yeah, I want to be about 3 rings off. It's 1.2, it's 1 point, so it's 3, right back to the red line. I had a little overpower on there that I did not mean to put on there, so I don't normally put any overpower on that shot and just lay it up out here. If you bring a big topper, you can get way down on the other end. And I have a big topper in one of these bags, and it works really well for that too. It's just a little trickier. Big toppers have really good, they've got a lot of stuff to get it done. Big Topper is a club that's definitely worth, like if you're like, I'm not sure if I want to open up any more Tour 3 chests, once you get your Tour 3 stuff maxed, which will happen really quick if you're playing in Ricky. you'll start to get those clubs up really quick. If you go, I don't know if it's worth opening up 2 or 3s. It's always worth opening up 2 or 3s to cycle through to try and get big toppers. See if I have enough to get over. Yes. So with my sniper, my red line would have been back here, so it would have been really hard to get on. So the Guardian gives me just enough extra distance that I can get over to the other side, and I have a lot more control of what happens over here. And everything drops down to the left. I'm going to do a little bit of an overpull just because that sand right there is a magnet. Hit it great to the right. And I actually think that great to the right might be right because it felt like I had too much curl on it. And you can see where it hit on how it hit flat like that. I'll have to go back and watch that video. There's a spot down there that's difficult. A lot of times in one-on-one play, I come here and I hit off the island. I do the bounce over with a sniper. And usually only in tournament play do I get over to the other side, and I'd have to go back and look at my notes and watch the video from when this hole was in. Go back and, if you want to watch through my inventories, you can go to my playlist and look for the, I think that was whatever tournament it was in. And see how we were playing them in a tournament. There's a deal down there. I can't remember the specifics. Eagle. That's the main thing on a lot of these holes, is that's why it's so important to practice. I see people on Facebook. I don't even know. I don't know. I guess that's why they got rid of the forum. Is just too many people complaining about they want to start the game and instantly have everything so that they have everything everybody else has, so they can be just as good as everybody else. And there's a whole skill set that you learn as you bring your clubs up. And if you can figure that stuff out, you watch videos or you practice a lot, or you just go out there and play. Let's see if they'll replay. Come on. Come on. What is the deal? Cycle through this chest. I'm looking for rocks. So I'm looking for gold chests so that I can try and get rocks. I got a gold chest the other day that had like 11 rocks in it. Or a platinum chest that had 11 rocks in it. And I've been getting them here and there, so I've been slowly grinding it up. This hole right here in tournament play, you come out here with a power, whatever it takes to get over here, and it's probably a power 4 ball, and I believe it is, and you can go straight out that hole, and you got a pretty good, this hole right here is definitely, in my opinion, the easiest par 4 to hole-in-one. And I haven't gotten a hole-in-one here, but this is, there isn't another par 4 that you can get like you can get on here, but you got to bring out some big equipment. You got to be willing to expend a power 4 ball. I would rather end up in the sand on the other side trying to get on in one than to lay up on this shot. I'll tell you that. I'm going to switch to a Marlin. Let's see if we can get this done with a Marlin. That's max overpower. Those 6 rings. Yeah, I would rather go for it and end up in the sand over there. than to lay up. I mean, you could switch to an extra mile right there, and you don't have to do any overpower. You can go to an extra mile, and you can use a marlin, and you can do the bounce diddy bounce right over the top of it, and it'll end up very close. I'm just stinking around with my quarterback. Sometimes I'll go out and play, and I won't change my bag, and I'll play with a big topper the whole time. Or I'll play with a big dog the whole time, because in this particular, if I find that there's some tournaments that have been out there that 2 or 3 of the holes, because of distance, you were either your best choice. Even if you had upper developed clubs, you needed to bring a big dog or a cataclysm. And so I don't play with that club very often, so I went out and tried to put myself in spots where I had to use my wood to get used to using it. And there's a couple holes that I found that I actually prefer that club. Rapier's 1.5 per ring, so it's about 2/3 of a ring. And we just need to hit it perfect. Hitting it perfect. Give myself a look. In the hole. Good game. Alright, that was Nordic Fords, hole 8, par 4. Let's rematch. Come on. Come on. People. Open just in case I find somebody who does want to replay. I'm trying to work gold chests, so I started off with 2 gold chests. I'm going to play for an hour or so. I might want to end with 4 gold chests. So you got to win 8 every 4 you win a gold. So Dunmore Links, hole 8, par 4. Alright, here we go. I'll have to go back and split up those individual holes to make videos for the tournament, but I'm just going to shoot this one as gameplay. Now, I did play this hole once before, and I'm going to try something here. Here's my big top. Hitting it perfect. See if I got enough to get out there. I do. That's because I was going against that headwind, but I've been on this hole. I've shot this hole twice, I think, and both times I've made it over to that island over there. I had a big topper bag set up for the last tournament, and so I'm just leaving that as my kind of like a utility bag where I'm like, hey, I want to practice this club. Or there's holes where a big topper really is the club, but at this hole right here, it definitely looks like a big topper and a tight. I'll have to go back and watch the video and see landing spots with that max overpower, like where it landed down here and how much room I have. I hit it more in the center before, so you're hitting it where, like, maybe that shot would have actually been in. Let's see. Yeah, see, we would have been in if we would have been over here, or we'd have been super close. He'd have been super close, but it looks like I would have been in. So with my machete, about mid club. It's about 4.4 per ring here at mid. That's 1/6. So that's about a third. Close. Somewhere in that neighborhood. Not very much. Hitting it perfect. Let's see how close my wind adjustment was. Pretty close. Yeah, I have weird wind adjustments for those rough irons and the sand wedges, but I've played those clubs a lot, so I mean I have a lot of faith in those numbers, and that's the deal. You have to have faith in your numbers. You need to get numbers from somewhere to start off with, so that you have it, but you have to not be married to the concept. If you don't have a club that, like, I will never move off my numbers for my short iron. It's not going to happen. Nobody's going to convince me unless they change the dynamics of the game, and then all the numbers are changed, and they would be crazy to do that. I use the old-fashioned numbers. 100% accurate, 1 per ring. 95% accurate, 1.1 per ring. 90% accurate, 1.2, and it keeps going down like that. When it gets to 50% accurate, it's 2 per ring. 0 accuracy, it's 3 per ring. And just work those numbers. Some of your clubs you're going to find are going to be like in between. Like you'll have one that's at 87 or 60, 62. And so you have to kind of decide, is it a more accurate club or is it a less accurate club? Have to work with that number. Some of my clubs I don't have, like, I know a backbone is more accurate than a Saturn, but I went out with my backbone and dedicated to play nothing but my backbone for like a month and kind of kept track of shots, and I'm like half as successful with my backbone as I am with my Saturn, and I think my Saturn numbers work, but the same math to get to those numbers doesn't work for the backbone. So the original piece of paper that I saw that talked about numbers did not get all down into the nitty-gritty. So like I don't take balls into consideration, like the speed that's on there. I know that those numbers exist, but I don't take those in. I don't factor any of that stuff in. Or how a ball reacts, like if you got a bigger ball, how your club's going to react, and there's a variance. And I know with really big wind, it will make a bigger difference. So if I was playing Masters and I had that kind of wind, then I would pay more attention to it, because it would become a bigger factor. Because the number, if you've got, it's going to be so fractional when you have short winds or small winds. I'm coming to all these holes. I ain't messing around on these holes. We're going to play. Trying to see what's possible on these holes, so when we get in the tournament, where's my second bounce? And I don't have a lot of room for that second bounce out there. Let's see if we can get over there. I mean, that's every single thing you can get in a Titan. I hit it like 65 rings good to the right. That's where I was trying to get to the first time. Earlier. I don't know how replicatable that shot is. That's just like next time I come to this hole, I'm going to switch and see what it looks like with an extra mile. I wanted to see if that shot could make it. I might have tried it the first time with my extra mile and didn't make it. I think I did. I think the last time I was here, I had a Saturn. I don't know if that's short iron range or not. That might just be long iron range. I always keep track of distances too. I go back and watch these videos, and I write down distances. So, Saturn, let's see, where's my red line? How much further would I have to get up? I mean, to cover this gap to get up here so that you're in short iron range, I don't think you can get into short iron range. Well, maybe if you were all the way up here, you might be able to. 1.9 per ring, so that's about a 1 ring pull. Hey, you wasted a second of my time right there. Hit it perfect. In the hole! Well, that's how you get an albatross on that hole. That's the first, second. That's the second time I played that hole. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. But it'll be very hard to get up into that spot. I'll have to work on what's the easiest way to get up there, because we definitely want to make sure we can standardize that shot, because that overpower with a big topper on that kind of thing right there, that's a real iffy. You might get away with that 4 or 5 times, but then you're going to get caught up. Alright, we got one of these Nordic Ford holes. I'm going to forfeit. See if we can get those holes. The more those holes we get, the better. I want to get as much practice in on the new tournament holes. RT, hand sandwiched. All right, we got Dunmore Links, hole 9, par 5. I don't know if I've seen this one. It goes from the left to the right, it looked like, from that picture. Ah, we might have a max overpower hook shot here. I wonder what the shot is from down here. That looks like a dangerous shot. I wonder if... Come on, dudes. Pan up. Pay attention. Oh, we're going to have to do something here. We're going to have to try something. We can't get far enough down into that hole, but that island's there. We might... Either that island's there and it ticks the greenkeepers off because nobody ever uses it, or it's there because there's something possible. Nobody's played these holes. Nobody really has a deal, so it's always important to come out and play them so that you just know like what it feels like from those areas. You go back and watch the videos. Holy. Wonder if you can. I don't think you could make it from down there. Wonder what. I'm gonna lay it up. I'm gonna switch clubs here. I've got. Guardian's the longest one I've got, so I'm gonna bring my Guardian and a Titan, and I'm gonna lay up down here and see what this shot, what it looks like down here. Let's see what kind of feel we got down here. I could probably get a little bit deeper. Hit it great to the right. I didn't take the wind out. That's why I put that curl in there. I didn't really need to put the curl in. I didn't have time to take the wind out. I'm not recommending you ever do that. I just did it on the fly. And was hoping that I had enough curl. Okay, so my opponent's got a sniper. I think if you had a big dog, you could make it from that little island. But I don't think you could make it from this side with a big dog. And that is a big chasm to try and bring. You might have to bring a 5-power ball if you wanted to try a max overpower hook. I don't know how much that would net you, but if I would have had a big dog in one of my bags, I need to switch one of my bags out and put a big dog just in case this hole comes up. Because right now the top spin on a big dog would be awesome. I'm going to let the wind push me forward, and I'm going to hit it straight. Oh, and I hit it like 75 rings. Great. I mean, that was the worst shot I've taken all day. I like that spot though. I got a shot from there. If I had a big dog, I could get up there, and you can see how the course slopes down towards the green. So if you can get up on the green, you definitely don't want to get stuck up at the top. But if you can get up there with just enough speed to catch that slope, it should bring you quite a ways down towards the cup. You'll go to some golf courses and they'll cut that so that when you come down that hill, you're going against the grain and the ball will stop. And you get caught up here on this hill. It won't roll down that hill as fast as you think it will, or that it should. I'm in my rapier range. Okay, there's max. Let's see if the topspin's effective here. I gotta hit that perfect. It may not go in. Even if I hit it perfect. When that ball guide disappears like that, you gotta be, there's a right spot. If you're not at that right spot. Alright, that's taking an eagle on that hole. But we could have made that easier with a big dog on that second shot. And that first shot, we'll definitely be able to maximize that because it's with a quarterback. So we'll be able to dial that in like on how much we need to put on. And then come at it. Man, come on, people. Are we not practicing for the tournament? Do we all have to go through all these screens? Can't we just replay each other? Can't we just be friends? If we get to a shootout, I will dunk. Oh, we haven't gotten to any shootouts yet. Come on. I will only shoot dunks on these shootouts. My goal is to try and beat people on the course, and that's even though we're not playing each other in tournaments. The whole deal is that I don't want to have to go to a shootout. And I don't want to beat you on the course because we both got the eagle that we were supposed to get. I want to beat you because I got the albatross and you got the eagle. And on the next hole, I got the hole-in-one and you got the birdie. I want my opponent to do really well because it forces me to have to do really well in order to stay up with them. Alright, I'm going to play this hole just because. Definitely don't want to roll off up there. We've got such a big headwind going on. Put a little more. It's about 6. So I took the side wind out. So now I'm just dealing with the wind that was pushing me straight forward. And that's not an absolute science. You're still going to get a little bit of drift if you got a side wind like that, but you're taking out the majority of the wind that was pushing you to the right. If you really want the wind to be right, you'd have to add on a little bit of power, or you'd pull back a little bit so you don't have... why did I go that way? I never go that way. I wasn't paying attention. I just followed my opponent right into disaster. I was looking at that hole thinking, what in the heck? I don't even remember this hole. Alright, my opponent shot out there. There's no shot from over here. You've got to go to the other direction. I mean, there's no shot. So since we have no shot, let's give it a shot. Okay, so I want to end up over here. Okay, so there's 5. There's 10. It's about... I'm going to go right to the edge of that rock. And I'm going to leave the wind in it just because I don't feel like getting down there and taking it out. Let's see where it ends up. In the rough. I'm in the rocks. My opponent definitely brought the right club. If they make the shot, I will be surprised, but they're doing a backspin shot, so it's not beyond the realm of possibilities. Awesome shot. Nice shot. Crowd goes wild. Let's see where we're at. There's Max Club from where I'm at. There's Max, there's mid. So we're in. We're really tight. Okay, 8.8, so we're less than half a ring. There's half a ring, and I'm gonna go a little less. Hitting it perfect. See if my wind adjustment was right. That's what I'm talking about. That works. Alright, now I'm going to have to shoot a dunk. Playing good today. Yeah, this is a hard hole to dunk too. So I think it gets me up to, depending on what ball I brought, it may get me up into my driver range. You'd be amazed how many times I come on these holes and I have backspin clubs and I try a dunk, and I miss it. But the backspin kept me up on the fringe and I still end up winning the hole because somebody epic failed. Where's my red line? Okay, that's where I'm switching, so I'm pretty much at max. Pretty close to max club. It's 1.2 per ring. So that's 3.6. See if I can hit it perfect. Oh, hit it great to the right. But that's not really going to matter. It was pretty close. It was great to the right, too. I'll end up like that right there. I'm 13.96 away. So, I mean, anybody can, I mean, that's not beyond the realm of beating somebody. You'd be amazed at how often I'll win just playing dunks. Good game. Come on. You guys kidding me? These are killing me. I played a hole that we don't even care about right now. Bankroll management. Gotta have good bankroll management. It doesn't take that many coins and you can play this game and you don't have to worry about coins. Where are we trying here? I don't know that I've ever played this hole. If you come over here, you're definitely going to need a backspin stuff. If you come forward, let's see how far Titan goes. Let's see how far a big top roller is out there. And we can't count on that kind of win in the tournament, but let's see what's possible here. It's going to move me out into this area. Hitting it perfect. Too far. Too far. That's exactly what it was. Get on these holes for the very first time and you're just trying to do just trying to work it out, see what's possible. You don't have to hit I mean, what we could do from right here is come over here and lay up to that pad and go right at the green and just bring backspin clubs. That's the shot. But what else is possible on this hole? That's nice. Awesome. Alright, I got a Saturn. Where's my mint? Oh, so I almost made it. If you get through this gap right here, you're in short iron range. And if you get far down in there, you got a little bit of green to work up with. This would be a good hornet hole. There's my red line. There's my red line. So I'm right at mid club. That's 2.6 per ring. So 2.6, that leaves me 11. A little over, I don't know, whatever that is right there. I looked right. Oh, anticipation. That was a great to the left. Maybe 2 rings. That distance is right. You could come in there with the Saturn. If you could dig a little bit farther into that hole, you'd be in your hornet range, and the farther you can get out here, the more you open the mouth up. But I don't know if you can get, I suppose if you brought a big ball. They'll throw these tournaments out here sometimes like this where the shots, there's 2 ways you can go at it. You can take the way to the left, and that's probably a wood, so you're going to need a Guardian. Would probably be your best choice, but if you don't have a Guardian, you could still get it done with a Viper. You can get it done with any club. It's just some clubs give you a better shot. Some clubs are just going to get you on so you can get your eagle and go to the next hole, or get your birdie and go to the next hole. And some clubs are going to make it so that you have a really good shot of picking up one. So when you first start and you've got lower developed clubs, you may not have that club that makes that hole where you got a serious shot of picking one up. You may not have the club that can get that done. So that's why you're working on clubs. Gems. Oh, we got a new hole. See, we got diverted again. We got a new hole. I'm a big fan of starting off on the green side, because if you make an error, you're already on the green. If you're back here and you make an error, you could be here, you could be in the rough, you could be in the sand, you could be in the rough, you could be in the fairway. There's a lot of different places that you could be. But if you mess up on the green, you're usually on the green or right there on the fringe. You're close. And that looks a lot better to me than being out in the rough somewhere 40 yards away. Where's my Saturn? Oh, there's our red line. So we can barely get over there if we have any headwind in the tournament. And this is the type of hole that they would give us headwind on. Let's see if we can go right at it. My max club, it's 1.9 per ring. So there's 3.8. So we're a little shy. A little shy of 2 rings. Right on the red line. I'm in the pike. 5 by 5. That was great to the right. If you're an Aliens fan. See if that rematches. Come on, man. I had to take that shot on there. I couldn't do the dunk on those new ones. You got to at least try those out. Come on. I remember when I first started playing, I think I maybe only had 200 trophies. The first time I encountered a guy that had, or a player that had 4,000 trophies. They don't allow that anymore. I mean, they've got it bracketed up based on your rankings and based on your trophy count. It especially works well during tournaments, especially in the weekend round of tournaments. Those weekend rounds, don't ever be confused. If you see somebody out there that's got top 3 banners, those people worked for those top 3 banners. They're not giving any of that stuff away. We got 5-2, but I got a Titan. I'm going to switch that up. I'm going to go with a Qatar Navigator. Let's just bounce it over. 5-2. Big Tupper's 2, so it's about 2.5 rings. Hitting great to the left. Practice our sand shot. I think I forgot to put curl on that. That's probably why I ended up in the rough in the sand. Happens. Set the shot up so quick, you're looking at it and you go, okay, I got to put on curl in order to bring it back to the fairway, and you set the whole shot up, and then you get back to the thing and you go, okay, am I perfect? Sometimes I'll have to go back and look at a shot and go, okay, yeah, I got to put curl on this. I didn't do that there, and I didn't have curl, and I ended up in the sand. It's alright. I need practice with my Spitfire. In my opinion, oh, I got a Houdini in this bag. Alright. I'm going to go for a dunk. Because I'll still end up on the green if I miss. So there's no downside here. My Houdini hits same as my Saturn, so that's about a half a ring. And we're testing this. It should be off to the right. No, that was the ninth time by. Dang it. Close. I suppose, you know, earlier, if you watched the video earlier, I think we were on this hole. Or a hole very much like this. Maybe it wasn't this one. We were on a hole very much like this, and I said, you know, there wouldn't be, if you try a dunk in those spots where you've got that hill behind there and you do max curl, you got a club that's got lots of backspin, and you go for a dunk. If you miss the dunk, you could end up making the, because it's going to backspin back really fast to the hole. There are several holes in this game that every time I get to those holes, I try a dunk. They're in the really low levels because you can do it with impunity. If you bring a Saturn, you can go for the dunk. So I'll actually lay up on those so I don't get in my short iron range so that I can go for the dunk. On fire. How long have we been shooting for? 49 minutes. Oh, another one of the new shootouts. I'm definitely going to start off on the other side. Look at how hilly this terrain is. I don't want anything to do with that. So what are we going to end up bringing? We're going to end up bringing a wood, so I'm going to end up needing to bring a Guardian. Or we need to bring a bigger ball so that we can push our red line for our long iron up. So I'm going to move it 1.2. It's 1.9 per ring at max. So it's a little over a ring. Put some curl on it to bring it back to the hole. Isn't it perfect? Get in the hole! You've got to be kidding me. I was going to say, I have been getting so lucky. I'm on a run. I'll have to go back and watch that. If I was playing it, I would want to bring a bigger side spin ball so that I could eliminate that curl. The whole deal is the curl got me over there with all the side spin I could muster and still have a spot. So you could change that shot up and make it safer. You would have to change the dynamics of the shot, but that's the one, I think. Probably with your long iron. So you bring a bigger ball and it'll push the red line forward. And then you want to make sure that that bigger ball's got at least 3 side spin. And they don't have 4 side spin balls, so I guess that means it has to have 3 side spin. That way you could try and take out all of the curl. Because if you can eliminate curl from that shot, the only way that would work, the only way curl works is if you do a max curl, then that's standardized and you can repeat that. But if you're doing half curl or quarter curl or whatever, what the heck is that? I mean, like the next time you get there, or were you inside of the bar, or were you outside of the bar? I mean, where were you at? So it's hard to replicate it. If you're doing no curl or max curl, those ones you can, that's one variable you can eliminate. All right, here we go. I have definitely seen this hole. I want to end on one of these. Let's forfeit. Give up some coins and a Titan instead of switched balls right there. I could have switched to a white ball. That's a Titan down the drain. Oh, come on. That would be a rule that Playdemic could do if you forfeit during a match. If you forfeit during a match, I've never gotten a hole-in-one on this. I'm on a run tonight, so this is definitely, I definitely want to take this shot and see what it looks like. The wind's going the wrong direction. It'd be better if we had a tailwind right now. Let's see what it looks like with a big topper. I'm definitely not laying up to the rough to get on this hole. I'm always going to go for the hole-in-one. The deal is that club's not going to work. It's about 2.1 per ring, so that's about a ring. A little over. Put a little curl to bring it back over. Get it great to the right, which will take out a bunch of that curl. It carries down there a little. The best way to hit this if you're really trying to get a hole-in-one is to bring a 4-power ball and start on the other side, but you really don't want to be hitting up against a headwind. If you had like probably about a 4-mile-an-hour tailwind, you might be able to get over a 3-power ball. maybe a 4. Where am I at my club? There's max, there's mid. I'm in that in between. Means it is super accurate. It's actually a little less than half a ring. Hit it great to the right. I went great to the right. In that range, it should have been 11 per ring, somewhere in that neighborhood. So it wasn't. So you take the first, you got max, then you got 3/4, then you got half. And this was kind of the in between a 1/4 and a half. So it's like 3/8.